So let's talk about something I've never seen taught before on the internet, and that is the regular verb form, like the verb hada, being used in a sentence as hada, or any verb for that matter. I first encountered this sort of usage way back in 2006 when I was a beginner. I saw a card, and on the card was a sentence that ended with hada. I was so confused because I kept thinking this must be wrong. Since then, I've seen it used so many times, but I haven't been able to find any lessons or information about it in detail. And what happened was last year I saw on my friend's Instagram page an advertisement for an event that was going on for a newly released game at the time called Ghost of Yotei. I think it's a Japanese game. It should be, right, with the name? And this is exactly what the event title was called. Ghost of Yotei를 만나다. So I really wanted to make a video about this form, but there wasn't any resource available. In fact, even today I've checked and I can't find any resources about it. So you might think now that you've seen this, do we really need to know this form? Probably no. But let's just say yes anyway, that way this video has a right to exist. So let's talk about this form, which is using an unconjugated verb as the final verb. Now, there's nothing I really need to teach you about conjugation. The way it works is you take a regular verb, so let's say hada, to do, and then you do this and that, and voila, there is the final verb. Now, I should say this only works, or it doesn't only work, but it's only noticeable when you're using an action verb. Because if you use a descriptive verb, the descriptive verb plain form is the exact same thing as the descriptive verb itself. So if it were used as a descriptive verb plain form, you wouldn't be able to notice, but as an action verb, you definitely can notice because there normally is no conjugation that would be like this. This is unconjugated, but because it's an action verb, it works for this form. And also, this form is stylistic. That's probably the reason why it's not in any grammar books, because it is only used to add style to a specific type of sentence. Now, what kind of sentence is it? Well, in English, we actually do something kind of similar when we write news article titles. Let's say there's a kid named Bobby, and Bobby makes a major announcement, and in the announcement, he offers that he's going to give everyone free candy. The news article title will read like this: Bobby makes major announcement, offers free candy. It has the same meaning, it's shorter, and it makes it look more impactful. And that is what this form is. This form is a shorter version that's easier to read and sounds more impactful. So because of that, it's only stylistic. And because it's a stylistic form that's used in titles, you're not going to be using this in speech. The reason why is if you use this in speech, it sounds unfinished. The only exception would be if you're making a Korean FAQ video where you're reading example sentences using this form, you're not going to ever use this in speech. And because it is unconjugated, this form has no tense. So it's not past tense, present tense, future tense, progressive tense. It's simply an idea, which is also, again, what makes it stylistic. So again, it's only used in titles. Other types of titles you might see it in are like headlines, headers, like for news articles, movie titles, book titles, thumbnail titles on YouTube. Any sort of title is okay. And I wanted to give you a few examples of how you might see it. 운명을 바꾸다. So 운명 is fate, 바꾸다 is to change, 운명을 바꾸다 sounds kind of like change fate. It doesn't sound like a command, like it's not saying change fate or how about we change fate? It's not a suggestion, it's more like to change fate, like as an idea. It's not a definition, like you're not gonna find this in the dictionary, to change fate, but it's more of like change fate, to think of this idea, and it just sounds stylistic. Here's one more example. So here's another one that I've seen in several announcement titles before. 결혼을 하다, to get married. But if it's used as a title, it sounds more like getting married. Like you might see 드디어, finally used before. 드디어 결혼을 하다, finally getting married. So this is not used in speech. You're not gonna go up to your friend and be like, 결혼을 하다. But you might see it on a title. You can search for it on YouTube or Google Images and you'll see like people's event titles that say this. Getting married, kind of like that. 식사를 하다. 식사하다 is to eat a meal. So this is like to eat a meal or just eat a meal. Like a concept. Again, it's stylistic. So you're probably never, ever going to use this form ever. But if you work for a marketing firm, maybe. Other than that, have you ever seen this form before? Did you know that it was a form? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again in another video. 그럼 다음에 또 봐.